This is going to be a long one, guys. Go get yourself a tea or coffee, maybe a soda, and let's go over the fighter buggy. Good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and that your week is starting out well. Mine sure is. The coffee is hot, and I'm about to set off on the fourth of the hopper builds that I promised you. Now, this kind of went off the rails. This is actually my third filming of this. The first time I filmed it had the unboxing, laying everything out. Super, super nice. Got to the camera to wish you guys all a great day and say I'll see you in a minute. Turns out I had never pressed record. So I deleted that and I got realigned and sat down to do this again, and I realized that I had my iPad, which mirrors my phone, was sitting right there on the table the whole time. So I had shot video number 2 with the video in the video. So I suspect I haven't had enough coffee. So here's the moral of the story. I promised you guys quality of content, not polish. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get quality content and not polish. So we had originally promised, and you can look back through my old YouTube videos. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell, give me a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, give me a thumbs down, and is what I think of that. But you're welcome to give me a thumbs down. I said that I was going to build a Grasshopper 2, a Hornet, and the Fighter Buggy RX Memorial. Well, we built the Grasshopper. We built the Grasshopper 2. All of these have their own videos, including running videos. We built the Grasshopper 2, which ended up being a Super G replica. We built the Hornet, and the fourth was supposed to be the Fighter Buggy Memorial, but we had an interruption. A good buddy of mine wanted a lunchbox, so we went on and I built a gorgeous lunchbox for him. You'll see that video coming soon. And then last Sunday during the Facebook 8 p.m. live feed that I do every Sunday, at 8 p.m., Dean DeGiorgio and I built our 2 custom Grasshoppers. So that's technically 5. Now I'm setting off to build the 6th, like I had promised, so that'll complete the 4 original hoppers that I promised you that I would build. Now, I have never built a DTO1 chassis. That should be completely, interesting. It's going to be all brand new to me. I'm not wearing this shirt by coincidence. This is going to get an RZ motor. This is going to get an Arma waterproof ESC. This is going to get an Arma waterproof servo. And of course, as per usual, we've got the full set of Boca bearings. And I ordered black wheel nuts because I think they will look nice. What do I think about the kit opening up? Well, straight away, very basic. Driver figure, gearbox parts. This is obviously your 540 motor, which is out. Servo sabers, hardware, shock oil, as this kit does come with gray CVA shocks, which should be really interesting because it's a chassis I'm not familiar with. Your typical parts bags, your tires, which of course have that lovely Tamiya tire smell. And then you get into kind of what's the special bit. A lovely set of chromed gold wheels, which are very, very cool. A body which I'm not going to comment on the shape because a lot of people have, but I will tell you this. If you're thinking of buying this kit, the finish on this plastic is very good. A little bit of light polish, and you could absolutely get away with not painting this body. Now, I'm going to paint mine metallic black, so I'm going to end up, of course, using the driver's head screw to make my Tamiya body lollipop, which allows me to spray. You'll see how I do that in my other videos. I go through that. And then you've got your decals, which are on a foil backing. Not exactly sure how I'm going to cut those out yet. I think I might copy the way Gavin Evans did it. and leave a little silver border, as I think his example of this model came out very nice. So there we have it. This is my Wednesday. I'm going to set off and build my first DT01. It will be the final in the 4 that I promised you, but ultimately it will be the 6th hopper build in as many weeks, and in 5 weeks basically. So either way, through the magic of YouTube and Facebook and photo editing, I'm going to disappear for a second. I'm going to do up the entire body so it's finished. I'm going to do up the entire chassis. I'll give you a quick summary of what I think of the whole thing, and then we're going to take it outside and get it dirty, because I would not have chosen a waterproof speed control and a waterproof servo and an RZ motor if my plan for this wasn't to run it. I'm going to run this. I'm going to beat on this. This will be one of my play toys, not one of my pristine shelf queens. So let me get at it, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute. And we're back. All right, so in the early part of this video, you saw that it was Wednesday. I wish you a good Wednesday morning. And today I will be wishing you a good Saturday morning. I thought this car was going to go quicker than it would, but it actually caught me out in several places and in several ways that I didn't think it would. First off, I used Tamiya TS40, I believe it is, metallic black, and I struggle with that color. It doesn't quite, it always looks fantastic when it's done, but it doesn't quite lay down the way you'd expect it to. It requires a lot of clear coating to make it pop, so there was that. Secondarily, I went on to the decals, and I had quoted Gavin Evans and saying that he was going to leave a little silver surround on all of these decals as they come on a foil, like a chrome foil back. So what can I say about decaling this body after I painted it? The actual application of the decals, not difficult at all. If you're the type of person who's scared of applying decals, don't be with this car. It is super simple as can be. It is the cutting them out that will just drive you bonkers. And if you're a perfectionist like me, it drove me absolutely up the wall. So, but we've got the body painted in metallic black. We've got the decals applied nicely. I went ahead and did black wheel nuts because I just thought that that would be better suited to the overall look of the car than the factory silver ones. The other change you may notice or may not is that I dye all of my plastic parts, knuckles and whatnot. I just feel that it creates a better looking end product, so I dye them all black. Just feel it looks better. Now when we go to the inside, as I said earlier, oh, and I did put a considerable amount of effort into the driver's figure, as he is prominent. So the suit has been dirtied up. The helmet is in gloss. He's got his buckles in place. I do not do eyes very well. In fact, this is kind of the best set I've done yet, but that doesn't really come through on camera. By the way, guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, YouTube, smash bell, you know, all that good stuff. Now let's get to the actual building of the car. I'm going to go through at the end of all of this. We're going to do a running video next, but I'm going to go through at the end of all this, and I'm going to review the hoppers that I have. But this one is really easy without having ever run it, because it's powered up, it's ready to go. This one is really easy to make a blanket statement on. This is the coolest piece of absolute garbage I have ever seen out of Tamiya. This thing is straight bullplop. The fitment of the parts is junk. The slop in the steering was so unacceptable that I had to take the wire out and I did like a ball link type setup because there was no way the car was going to steer. The camber gain on this front end is as if it was designed on a napkin by an 8-year-old who had look at the slop. That's in the lower control arms. It's as if the steering was designed by an 8-year-old who got into his mom's purse while eating fast food, and designed it while high on her Adderall, and then the company said, "This is brilliant, and we're going to put it into effect." No, it is junk. This top piece, this top plate, that's 3 pieces. This is one little piece here that holds the servo. This second portion is one piece, which shares one screw with the back plate, and it's not even attached to the chassis. And the back plate has 2 screws. This car is okay. I get it. It's the General Motors thing. You've got to have the low. You've got to have the high. There was years within the GM company where you could have bought a Chevy Metro, and you could have bought a top of the line Cadillac. So there's got to be a low and there's got to be a high. But the steering on this is it's not a matter of low. There was no money saved in even the fact that they're one piece steering links, I think is pretty cool because it takes that out of my list of things to do. It's just poor engineering. Now, let me give you the upshot. Oh, and the servo hangs out right out in front of the window, and it doesn't fit, whatever. This gearbox, I've built almost all the Hopper gearboxes. This thing looks solid. I am willing to wager that you could put some massive brushless power through this gearbox. My hat goes off to Tamiya. They got that right. Also, they put a pin in the center so that the rear end can articulate. I'm doing that terrible for the camera. So the rear end can articulate as well as jounce. Usually we end up going to Ampro Engineering to get some part, but it does not have those stupid little springs. Way better design back here. So it's almost as if they started at this end first thing in the morning after having, coffee and sake, and the ideas were brilliant and they're good and it's strong. I mean, guys, the gears are this freaking wide. You couldn't strip one of those gears with a 3-turn on 7S. You're not stripping those gears. It's not happening. Brilliant gearbox. Yeah, the fit isn't the best, but again, this is low line to me. The fit to the chassis, they solved all the problems that the Grasshopper, the Hornet, the Lunchbox, the Grasshopper 2 have are all solved. And then the tub of the chassis is fundamentally good, but then they put this really bad top plate on it. And then it got later in the day, and the sake has started to take its toll, and then it was time to engineer the steering, and it's got this bell crank. Let's see if I can get you to show on camera. There's a bell crank right there, and this is just slop. Guys, I want you to look at my servo arm right there. There's no servo saver on this. There's no servo saver on this. That is just a straight arm. That is all slop, just in crap ass design. So we started brilliant and we get just garbage by the time we're at the end. Now, you've got my review on that. I'm about to go take this outside and I'm going to run it. And I'm going to run it on a 2S LiPo. We've got the RZ motor, my absolute favorite, paired with an Arma speed control, which I have buried in the chassis, not mounted up on the top deck like they told me to, because if I had done that, well then, guess what wouldn't have fit? My driver figure. No. So that wasn't very smart of them either. Add that to the list of not smart things they did. So we've got the RZ motor. We're going to have it on a 2S LiPo through an ARMA ESC. And I right now have a, by the way, this is a waterproof speed control, waterproof receiver, and waterproof 15 kg servo. I can almost promise you I'm taking that servo out. It is way too nice for this car. It is way too much power for this car. And I'm kind of an aesthetic snob, and being as how it's red, the minute you look through the Buggy, all you see is the servo. Oh, there's the driver back there, but look at the servo. So either way, I'm done talking my smack for now. So let's go bang a battery into this thing and go through another can of Wake Up Juice, and I will be back to tell you what I think of all of this. So we'll talk to you in a minute. I'm going to try to include some running video in the process, but it's very early, and yeah, we'll see what we can pull off. See you guys outside. All right, so here we go. We're going to do the first run with the Fighter Buggy Memorial. You are on the end of the transmitter, so I will do my best to keep you in range. But that's all I can do, is my best. Okay. For an RZ motor on 2S LiPo, that's not too shabby. So straight away, we try to run this Fighter Buggy RX Memorial in the grass. Yeah, that's not happening. So no grass for the Fighter Buggy Memorial. No light. Let's come over here. We've got a little bit of dirt, some more bald spots. Okay. It seems to like that very much. Just don't get it in the grass. All right, we are back from our bash. So I have now unboxed it, built it, painted it, stickered it, commented on it, run it. I ran it in the dirt, I ran it in the grass, I ran it on the tarmac, and I think I see what's going on here, and I think I can give you my final opinion on the Fighter Buggy Memorial. I actually stopped my bash of this car early for a reason. I think it looks cool as can be. I love the wheels, I love the treatment, I like the pinspike tires, the foil decals are great. I spent a lot of hours painting the body. So the aesthetic of the car, I think, is fantastic. I guess it is marginally, and I mean marginally, better than, I can't even say it's better than a Hornet. You know what? I can, because of the oil shocks. It is marginally better than a Hornet. But I'm going to go with Kevin Talbot on this one and say that the thing with RCing, whether you have an Avanti or some crazy expensive thing or some entry level thing, forget what everybody says, forget what anybody tells you, do what puts a smile on your face. Now, that's my problem with this car, is my Hornet or my Frog or my Grasshopper or my other Grasshopper, we can't talk about my Super G. The Tamiya nerds have made it such that this car, which I purchased for what I believe to be a fair market value. I think I gave $125 for it. Never mind the fact that I then threw an RZ motor, an ARMA speed control, and an ARMA 15 kg, waterproof, everything at it. I more than doubled the price of the car with the electronics that I put in it. That's neither here nor there. The issue that I have is to go out and bash this and damage a set of wheels that are expensive to get, to damage a body set whose decals are expensive to get. Are you going to get that many more smiles out of this than you would with this? Because these wheels I can get anywhere. These tires I can get anywhere. This body, these decals, the bumper, anything that I could possibly screw up on this car, I can jump online and purchase for next to nothing. Or I could drive a slightly, ever so slightly better car, but I'm going to pay out the nose for absolutely anything I damage if I tumble it or roll it. So I'm at a crossroads. I think as of right now, unfortunately, this is going to hold shelf queen status until the Tamiya guys come down off of whatever controlled substances that they're using to help them determine the value. When I can buy these wheels at a reasonable price, when I can buy this body set, with decals at a reasonable price, you bet I'm going to go out and I'm going to beat the heck out of this, and I'm going to have fun with it, and I'm going to play with it, and I'm going to smile the whole way. And you know what? At $120 for the kit, it is good value for money. For what they're asking now for a kit, it is terrible value for money. You're far better off. God, if you have a youngster, for the love of all things holy to you, if you have a youngster, do not buy this for them. There will be tears. There will be crying. If you buy a youngster a Hornet and build it with him or her, then you guys can go out and you can run it and break it, and you can say, hey, no big deal. We'll just get online and the replacement part will be here in 2 days, and it's no big deal. If you go out and you take this and hand it to a youngster, they won't have driven 40 different Tamiyas. They're not going to notice that this one is ever so slightly better. But if it rolls over, you're going to be crying because you know that the wheels and the body set are, through the moon. So I think it's very cool. I love that I love that swept look. I love that it is a Tamiya character car. I think it's so important that Tamiya stick to that model. But value per money, had the prices not shot up, I would give this car a huge thumbs up. Where the prices are right now, I gotta say it's a no-go. It's better off on the shelf, looking beautiful, than it is out there getting money. I'll just pay $100 for another Grasshopper and go out and basically have the equivalent fun. And I'll even go so far as to say that the Grasshopper I'm sorry, I keep saying grasshopper. The Hornet tires work better in the grass than these do. And in fact, the custom grasshopper, and I'm going to go through all of this with you, I even went through and put Hornet tires on the custom grasshopper because the Hornet tires actually work in the grass. So I thank you for logging in and checking out this video. Please like, subscribe, notification bells, PayPal, you guys have my email, you can ask me for it. Any donation, anything that comes to the channel does not go into the cars. It goes into lighting equipment, camera equipment, microphones, towels. It goes into the production of the video, never into these. It would not be fair of me to ask you lot to fund my addiction. Like I said, any funds that come into the channel or donations that come into the channel are to increase the quality of the content, not to increase my personal collection. So with that having been said, like, subscribe, hit bells, all that good stuff. My next video, I've got to release the video on the lunchbox, but my next video is going to be to line all the hoppers up here on the table, and I'm going to try, I might even set a stopwatch and literally just spend 2 minutes on each car, giving the highs and lows to help you guys, possibly, somebody who's looking to get into the hobby, make your decision as to which of the entry-level cars to use as your stepping stone into the hobby. So, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next one.